Today's video is going to be about preventive maintenance on the Cruze. Now this works on the Cruze, Trax, Sonic, Encore. If it has a 1.4 or the 1.8, 1.8 doesn't have the turbo, so you can omit that. But I'm gonna show y'all the things you should change between 75 and 100,000 miles, whether it needs it or not. Because if you don't, guess what? I see a lot of cars that have blown engines, um, transmission slipping, and overheating because they didn't do the maintenance. So this here, I'm gonna show y'all, and it's a lot of things, but it doesn't cost much. These parts on these cars are very cheap. So some of the parts that I'm gonna show y'all, I do have out, and I'm gonna show y'all later in the video on why you should change them. But I'm gonna try to keep this video kind of short and brief. But let's get right into this. But before we get into that, make sure you like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. All right, number one, you're gonna want to change your turbo. Even though if it doesn't need it, I'm telling you, you need to go ahead and change that turbo. Number two, change your oil cooler. Now I have these parts out, so if you can't see it on here, matter of fact, let me get close up for y'all. This is your turbo here. All that down in here, this is your turbo. Your oil cooler, you want to change that. That's simply where you put the filter in. But I have that out, so I'm gonna show y'all. We're not gonna stress about that while it's in here. All right, you also gonna want to change your water outlet. This hose here is a water outlet that's down in there. See if I can get a better angle. I don't have the water outlet because I threw it away, but I don't know if y'all can see that. It has the sensor down there and all that. Change that. I'm telling you, it leaks coolant all the time. Next thing you want to change is your thermostat. This is your thermostat here, and this is your water pump here. If you change the thermostat, you might as well just go ahead and change the water pump. I had to change all this is new on my vehicle, but the thermostat, when I took it out and I made a video of it, it was completely shot on the inside. So you definitely need to change this if you don't change that water pump. And this is your water pump. You just take this pulley off, the belt off, and you'll see it all back off in there. Next thing you want to change are these hoses that lead from the back of the heater cord there. This one right here leads to the back of the water pump. This one here leads to the water outlet that I just showed y'all. And the other one runs to the overflow. As you can see it moving. Make sure you change those parts. If you don't, you're going to risk of your car overheating. Then it's going to mess up your heads. Another thing you should change. This cap. This is not the original cap. The original cap started leaking and had oil all around here, and it caused a code, which I believe was a P0171. So you want to change that. Another thing you need to change, this valve cover gasket. Valve cover, because you have a PCV valve right here. This could shoot a code, a P1101. Also, your sensors. Change your sensors. The MAP sensor back here, these two, you just change them. And I recommend you go to the dealership and get the sensors. Now all these other parts you go aftermarket or whatever. And your O2 sensor here. But you could kind of wait on the O2 sensor because that will definitely shoot a hard code. But those are the things that you should change on your engine. at 70,000 miles to 100,000 miles. And last but not least, make sure you service your transmission. It's basically a drain and fill. This right here is your cap. Right down here, that's the fill, and below on your transmission there's a drain, and it's 11 millimeter, and all you have to do is drain it out and fill it back up, and that's all it consists of. It doesn't have a filter, accessible filter for it, and I'm telling you, your car is going to run great. Now if you don't do those things, just get ready. You're going to have some overheating issues, your engine going to blow, or your transmission going to start slipping, and you're going to have a lot of engine codes. So let's go to the parts that I have out so I can show y'all why you should change them. All right, here we have the water pump. This is the water pump that I took out. It wasn't leaking or anything. Actually, it goes like this in the car, and your thermostat sits on the back here. I just decided to change it. It has 10 screws to take this off. Make sure you clean it up. As you can see, the gasket likes to stick. And one reason why, that plastic right there, that plastic start, I guess you could say, getting loose and everything, and it start causing a leak. And if you're the gasket itself, it could get worn out and start leaking. But this isn't as bad as the thermostat. I didn't really have to change it, but since I changed the thermostat, I said why not. All right, next we have the oil cooler. Now this is the main reason why you have leaks. This gasket right here get worn out, and this is what happened to mine. I had an oil leak right here. It get worn out and it start dripping down below. As you can see, there's oil right there. Also, this O-ring, it starts getting worn out from, heat, and then get back cool, heat, and then back cool again. And them the main reason why the oil cooler go out. Now this is just for the coolant. I didn't have a problem with that, but it was mainly on the back side right here. And that's it for the oil cooler. Now your turbo. Now, was this turbo bad? No, not quite. But these lines here, they get real brittle and they start leaking. This ring right here will start leaking. This one here, this is for the coolant here, it will start leaking. Down here you have for your oil that goes back into the sump or oil pan. Right here, it could start leaking. And basically, if you hear a lot of whining going on, the turbo not, the car is hesitating really bad, pretty much your turbo is going bad. If you're not using the, keeping your oil change regularly, guess what? Your turbo is gonna go bad because it need to stay lubricated. And them are the reasons why I changed all these parts. So if you want your Cruze to run for a very long time, I suggest you do these things to the car, because if you don't, you will regret it. All these parts I've changed out myself. They're very inexpensive. This turbo here, I paid $200 something for, but all together on the parts that I changed out, it came up to about around roughly 800 bucks. But that's a small price to pay to, well, actually that's not including, that's including the tires. I put new tires on here, so all that was in the budget. I spent $800 and I did it all myself. And right now I trust this car going back to Florida. I trust it going to California, anywhere, because I know I did the proper maintenance. And make sure you change your spark plugs when you change that valve cover gasket. I mean the valve cover. It's very easy. So if I helped y'all in any kind of way, make sure y'all like and subscribe. I thank y'all for watching my video. I'll catch y'all on the next one.